If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mr. Monopoly here. Monopoly is back at McDonald's. Register in the McDonald's app so you're ready to
get your bag.
2 ways to peel for a chance to
get your bag.
Physical peels with select items and digital peels with others to
get your bag.
Play Monopoly at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
No purchase necessary. See rules at playatmcd.com for full details and amoe.playatmcd.com to play without purchase. Ends November 23rd, but bonus play ends November 2nd. Monopoly is a registered trademark of Hasbro. Copyright McDonald's.
The Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 117 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. I am Junior, as usual, accompanied by co-host Nick and producer Vince from a new location today.
We decided to bring this podcast to you from Saint Alphonse Rodriguez, Quebec, which is up north in the wilderness. So this podcast is coming to you from a cabin up north. Vince?
Yo.
How has your stay been so far in this
very relaxing
retreat that we've been
from
on?
this retreat? Is this a podcast retreat that we did to bond or
Well, I think a podcast, it was a team outing,
team outing to
reconnect
get
with
away-
your soul.
to get away from my kids?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
We'll
But,
see that.
I kind of missed the little guys.
Yeah. It's been 3 days. Tomorrow we're back home.
Tomorrow we're back home, so I'm very excited about seeing them again.
But being up here, we had a chance of actually paying attention and looking at the hockey games and
We watch a lot of
watching
games,
games
Friday,
uninterrupted.
Saturday.
I mean, we always pay attention.
Yeah, but
But we don't get the chance, to be transparent here, we don't get the chance to watch every single game that we possibly can, and we've actually done that the past 2 nights and days.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was good. It was hopefully we bring you more informed decisions, more informed information, more informed information.
Wow.
More better information.
More better.
And we give you guys some insights. So before we get started with the intro, where can people find us, Junior?
As usual, on our socials at Partial Break Pod on Instagram, X, TikTok. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow us on YouTube.
Please like and subscribe. We have 80% of our viewers are unsubscribed.
Yes, 80% of our viewers on YouTube are not subscribed. And I wanted to add something. Oh, yes. If you want to listen to us and you're not on a computer, you want to listen to us from your phone in the car, any audio platform, Spotify, Apple, YouTube Radio, anything you want, you search Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast, you will find us there.
Well, guys, there are times that you need to slow down in life, and I feel like that's what we did here, to be one with Mother Nature and to reconnect with the earth. And these times are great times to look into personal thoughts and reassess your place in the world. As a podcast, we decided to do that and bring you an episode of reflection and buy low candidates in NHL fantasy hockey.
Look at you.
So cute.
Very nice, Nick.
Can I get an odd man rush?
You may.
Brought to you by...
Whether you're chasing goals, breaking records, or building champions, Sportira has your team covered. Custom uniform, premium textiles, fast turnaround. From the field to the court, from grassroots to pros, Sportira brings your game to life. Outthink, outwork, outplay, www.sportira.com.
All right. Well, Partial Breakaway Podcast with Odd Man Rush is here. And Odd Man Rush is basically a segment where we take 30-second thoughts and news and notes from the NHL and we turn them into 3-minute takes because we don't know when to keep our mouth shut.
Well, you and Junior.
Thank God we have you, Vince.
I just used 30 seconds.
As long as your wife knows.
Look at you.
All right, guys. So to start Odd Man Rush today, we're going to start with one of the better games that we've seen in a while, kind of, and also one of the most controversial games. Habs Oilers from Thursday night. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about the Oilers' struggles here because the Oilers, obviously, we already know they're a team that's competing for the Cup. They're not just competing for a playoff spot. However, they've had some issues getting the season started on the right foot, I would say.
Well, they're on life support for 2 years, right? McDavid signing that contract. They're on life support for 3 years. McDavid wants to see a change on this team. You're looking at the stats. The stats are not what we're used to. Power play, they're sixth in the league, which we expect even them to be top 5 usually in the league.
Okay,
if you look at any other of the stats, they're middle of the pack, which, listen, it's the beginning of the season, but the stats that really pop out, shot percentage, they're 24th in the league. Saves against, save percentage, 28th in the league, and shots against per games played, 32. So the problem is you're giving up the most shots and your goalies are not saving the puck. It's never a good recipe. So they need to show up, and it's not all on their goalies. Listen, I believe Ingram at one point is going to make a stand on this team, and he's going to get a chance to prove if he can play as their number one goalie. But right now, Pickard and Skinner are not playing very well, but their defense in front of them is not helping them either. I mean, we watched Edmonton last night. Bouchard defensively does not look very good right now.
And his shot selections are kind of a little bit off, right? He's shooting it right on the feet of the person in front of him instead of taking a little bit more time. Maybe there's a little bit of holding the stick too tight because he's a little bit nervous right now because he's not starting off the year very well.
Usually when you struggle, you tend to force things. Right. And I think he's forcing a little too much. And sometimes when you should be passing, he's shooting. And when he's shooting, he should be so that's what happens. And he's holding, like you said, he's holding the stick a little tight. But at the end of the day, this team never had depth. And now this is the worst depth they've ever had in the McDavid era, probably from when they drafted him. So there's only 3 players that have 9 or more points in this team in 9 games.
We also have to mention Hyman is a key contributor to this who's been out since the beginning of the season.
And they just got Wallman back. The first game was Saturday.
Yeah, but you're right. If Leon or McDavid are not creating something, no one's scoring on this team.
Yeah, but you do expect them to create stuff. I mean, let's be serious. They're the 2 best players in the world.
But you guys did say we've been watching a lot of hockey. We've watched a lot of Edmonton Oilers over the last couple of days. They don't look good. Even that game versus the Canadiens, they were completely outplayed. They still found a way to win, which is a trait of a really good team. But
or a trait of a really bad ref.
Yeah, or that too. But in this case, probably that was the case. But they just don't look good. Even McDavid and Draisaitl, they can't get offense going at a constant pace.
So the one game that they won was against the Habs. But they were outplayed pretty much the entire time.
Yeah, they had beaten Ottawa in overtime just before that, I think.
I pushed the bell, Nick, because you couldn't do a great transition right now.
No, not yet. The refs cost that game to the Habs. The Habs had won it, and they had given a penalty to Josh Anderson.
Unsportsmanlike
For doing what pretty much every NHL player does after they get scored on or after they're frustrated. It was given to them. It was a game that was given to them. Apart from that, they don't look as fast.
No, they didn't look fast.
They do not look fast. Other than McDavid, nobody else looks fast. And the speed of the Habs seems to be what outshone at the Edmonton Oilers in that game.
But could this be a Stanley Cup Finals hangover at the beginning of the season? We haven't seen it for a while, but could it be a bit of...
That's a good point. I mean, maybe they're just starting slow because they've played a lot more hockey than other teams in the last 3 years.
I think this is the third consecutive year they start very slow.
Yeah.
So, and they made the cup final.
Well, there's
those other times. So
there's one
slow
team
starts.
that decided that they weren't going to have a slow start this year, and that, my friend, is a professional segue.
You go.
The Habs are looking very, very good. They're, by the way, first in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
They have the number one goal scorer in Cole Caulfield before today's games. I don't know about today's games. And they have number one point getter in Suzuki. And Dobesh is unbeaten so far this year.
Yeah.
So, and they have the best rookie as well. Number one rookie right now in Demidov. So, or if you saw Junior's post, Demigod. The Habs are looking, all jokes aside, obviously very, very good. But there was some bad news, Junior. You want to tell the listeners about the bad news that we found out on Saturday?
Patrick Laine, upper body surgery. I think it's a hernia, out 8 weeks. No, 4 to 6 months.
Well, that is homework you should have done, my friend.
But is it really bad news?
Look,
I mean,
How much?
it's going to suck when the power play struggles and they can't switch it up even for just a little bit and have that key guy that
Yes.
takes attention away.
But
from
like in the
others.
first 9 games, I mean, Laney hasn't been, especially fantasy owners have been disappointed because he's been playing on the fourth line, hasn't been playing on PP1. So is it that much of a big change?
I think it affects your depth. I think right now the top lines are carrying this team, and it would have been nice to have a little bit more depth because he can score at any given time, right? It takes one shot for Laine to score,
Yeah.
but a lot of people are saying that he looked like someone who was in pain just skating.
Yeah.
So maybe he was trying to play through it and he couldn't. But again, that's the same conversation we have year after year with this guy.
that's what I was just about to say, is that we've had this conversation before. He was injured last year. Not to his fault, right?
No.
He got hit in the knee by a player. And then this year, now he has a sports hernia issue. So we're talking about a player that's going to be out for quite a while here. I'm trying to find the exact timeline, but anyways,
I think it was 4 to 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
it's
3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months. So there you go. So 3 to 4 months. You're hoping that the Habs continue going,
Yeah.
and
Listen, for Habs fan, we should be excited to see how our team's working, but there's still some things to work on for the Habs. I mean, statistically, we're number one in goals. 36 goals this season. We're number one in the league. But goals against, we're down to 24. So we need to balance that out to keep up what the Habs are doing.
so
I'll tell you. I could tell you why we're down to 20, why they're down to 24.
please do, because that's exactly what I was about to mention, is that we spoke about Dobesh, right, who has like a 950 save percentage so far this year, which is absolutely madness.
Yeah.
And he's number one in the NHL.
In goals saved above expected, with 9.1 goals saved above expected.
Last year,
And just to
was-
Montembeau 68th.
68th.
That's why we allow. That's why we've allowed a lot of goals, because when he's in net, they're allowing 4+ goals a game.
Yeah. So it's going to be... Is there a goalie controversy in Montreal right now?
I don't think it's a goalie controversy. I think that play who's hot for now, but Montembeau is the guy that's going to... Like, I don't know if Dobesh is going to be able to maintain this pace. Definitely not this pace, but I don't think he's going to be able to maintain many games played either. So you need Montembeau to come back to the Montembeau that he was maybe last year, where he had an above... I think he was top 10 last year. If I'm not mistaken, he was 7th last year in wins and top 10 in goals saved above expected. So this actually, and we're going to talk about buy lows and sell highs later on in this episode. Maybe this is a Montembeau buy low.
What it really does is Dobesh being so good so early is it allows time for Monty to find his game. I mean,
And there's a lot of good goalies that have started off slow.
yeah, I mean,
A lot of good goalies.
and once he finds his
Vasilevsky,
game,
Sorokin.
once he finds his game, I think Monty's still the guy. But until then, you gotta keep riding Dobish.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping he finds his game. But on the positive, have you guys been on X and seen a bit of the feud between Chicago fans and Montreal fans?
No.
How about the
there's-
Demidov
about the-
Lashunov?
About the Demidov Lashunov thing?
I read a little bit and then I kind of turned it off because I don't pay attention to fan feuds.
Yeah. It's just funny because at one point, one Chicago fan had put up the rookie stats,
Yeah.
but he stopped at 5. But Demidov was tied in points with 4, 5, and 6. Like it was so. It was funny. To
Was
just-
that before his 3-point game?
That's before, and that's where I'm going now. And then after this weekend, after these past games, I mean, Demidov 9 points in 10 games.
Yeah.
He's making a difference on this team. Whether people want to see it or not, he is making a huge difference on this team, and especially that,
His vision is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
and especially that they replaced him with Botzuk on the power play lately. That power play looks even a little more dangerous.
Yeah, that's what the listeners need to know is that now Demidov has officially taken over power play 1. Balduc is now on power play 2. And I think he's had 2 points since he's been put on power play 1 already.
Yeah, well, he's single-handedly maybe fixing the power play for the Montreal Canadiens so far this year.
I think the last 2 victories from the Canadians is signed Ivan Demidov.
The last team that had a very good start to the season, like the Habs, that are also extremely young, is the Utah Mammoth.
Oh, baby. We warned you guys. We warned you about them.
And ever since they announced their mascot, I think they're undefeated.
Tusky. What, Musky? Tusky?
Tusky, not musky. Musky's a smell that you get when you hang out in the woods a little bit too much.
Sometimes
Which,
you could get that
by the
over
way, we are in the woods a little bit too much here. So Muskie that you mentioned, Utah's doing very well. Do we think this is sustainable from Utah? Who are their top performers? Why should people be paying attention?
Sustainable. Listen, their young players are starting to come in. Their door is starting to open. They've had a great start to the season. I mean, remember I told you guys Montreal was number 1 in goals and number 24 in goals against. Utah number 3 in goals and number 6 in goals against. So they're getting goaltending and I mean in their last 2 games, I mean, Logan Cooley got 5 goals. Their top guns are really hitting on all cylinders. And remember we said Peterka, we didn't know new team, we didn't know how he was going to adapt. Seems like he's fit really, really well with that team.
Absolutely.
So
To my detriment because I traded him away.
yeah, exactly. And
That's why he's doing so well.
Yeah, but I mean,
and the defenseman they got hasn't played. Kessling.
No, he's in
Kessler?
Buffalo.
he's in Buffalo.
They traded him.
Oh,
They
they
traded
traded
him
him.
away.
So I mean, defensively, Sergachev started to pick it up offensively, but this team looks like they're going to be making a push to the playoffs for sure.
It's very early. We've seen teams crumble after hot starts, but Vejmelka's save percentage is 904. His goals against average is 2.43. And you know what? We made fun of Vanacek, but in his 3 starts, he's got a 1.1 goals against average.
I didn't make fun of
I made
Vanacek.
fun of Vanacek.
You
I
made
did.
fun of
And a
Vanacek.
909 save percentage.
In the Dauber Prospect League that we are in with Victor Nuno, I particularly said we should go out and get Vejmelka.
Yeah. And we did.
And we did.
We did. You're right. And so just to touch back on what we said about Edmonton, only 3 players, 9+ points or more. Utah has Gunther, Cooley, Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, all with 10+ points. Peterka's just there at 8. And they've got 2 defensemen pacing for 42 points or more.
Nick Schmaltz at 15 points.
We'll get to him a little later, I think, right?
Well, right now he's number 2 in points in the entire National Hockey League. So Nick Schmaltz is definitely, he has 15 points.
Yeah.
But
Number 1 is Eichel with 16. Number 2 is Nick Schmaltz.
Generally speaking, for Utah, though, if you asked if it was sustainable, they're going to need some depth scoring because their bottom 6, nobody has more than 2 points. So that has to change
That has
in
to
order
pick
for them
up a
to
little bit.
sustain this, because all these hot streaks that these guys, these lethal players are on, that's unsustainable.
And I think there's a big Kerfoot injury as well from the bottom six.
Yeah.
That doesn't help.
Yeah.
But he's not as fantasy relevant, so we're not really going to spend too much time on that. One of the best lines in the NHL, you mentioned already Gunther, Cooley, and Peterka. We didn't actually mention it, but one of the best lines in the NHL was from a previous team that we spoke about, which is the Habs with Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slavkovsky. McTavish, Gauthier, and Seneca, which we were corrected by one of our listeners, by the way. Thank you for that. When it comes to expected goals for, that line is top 10 in the NHL right now. And they're not even the top line on that team.
You're right.
So when it comes to Anaheim and McTavish, Gauthier, and Seneca, what are we seeing? Like these are, Gauthier is what? Second sophomore season? He shoots about 17 times a game. And
But you're talking about shooting shots per game, shots per games played. They're averaging 34 shots a game.
yeah.
That's
as a
third in
team.
the league as
Yeah.
a team. So
The
they're-
offense is there. I mean, talking about coaching change, young people coming in and really making a difference. Like Seneca is doing great. Gauthier is doing great on this team.
So what I like especially about Gauthier, that I think obviously the listeners should really pay attention to, is he's shooting 4.9 times a game, and his shooting percentage is 12.8. So it's a very fair shooting percentage. Not to say this guy's shooting like crazy and
Yeah.
that's why he's scoring. No, like it's very fair. If this is sustainable in my eyes, even though it's still a very small sample.
Do we think Seneca stays on the team the entire year?
Yeah.
At this point, it looks like it.
Yeah, because he's contributing too much not to, right? And they're a team that wants to make the playoffs. I don't.
They have two more. They have two more games to decide. No, game 10 to send him back to the minors.
9 game
Nine, okay.
after he plays his 9th game.
Yeah. So okay, what's
I mean, if you're Anaheim,
based off this small sample size? What do you guys expect from Beckett Seneca to
Seneca.
in terms of points? He's at 5 points in 8 games, and he's playing 17 minutes of a game. So what's your expectation in terms of points through an 82 game season?
Listen,
here?
we always said for a successful rookie season is between 45 and 50 points. And if he's getting the minutes, you're looking more towards the 50 than the 45.
And he's on pace for 51 right
Yeah.
now.
So,
I mean,
I
it's
mean-
very early, but
I mean, that's what you're aiming for if you're playing that many minutes. Like a rookie that's playing 12, 13 minutes, you're expecting 40, depending on where he's getting his opportunities.
Yeah.
Seneca is getting his opportunity on the power play, 5-on-5. So, I mean, 50 points is not something that's not attainable for him.
Only 28% of power play.
Yeah, because
But
of
Anaheim
PPT.
kind
on
of
power
rolls
play
two
too.
power play lines. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's one of the best lines in the NHL. Anaheim fans, I hope you're really enjoying this season because so far it looks really good. Daily Faceoff has Vetrano there now, but we were looking at the stats for expected goals for when Gauthier, McTavish, and Seneca were on. Granlund's actually doing very well as well. Killorn is on the top line with Leo Carlson. Like, there's a lot of great things coming here for Anaheim. Dostal's playing pretty well, a little shaky sometimes, but he's playing pretty well. And the person that really has to get going, I feel, for this team to take another step is
$9 million man.
$9 million Jackson Lacombe. I really feel like he needs to, and we've said this before, is that when you sign that big contract, sometimes, things happen and
Yeah, they need to stabilize their decor a bit. I think they did good by going to get Trouba, but they need another Trouba-ish top 4 defenseman to stabilize things a bit.
all right.
But they're a very, very young, entertaining team.
Well, we wanted to talk a little bit about another young, entertaining player that's actually making some noise,
Headlines.
some headlines in the AHL right now. 5 games played, 5 wins for Mr. Murashov.
And you don't have to look far to see when we warned you about this guy. Just last week with Peter Icon, with Vince, I think, was the one who mentioned it. Murashov is the guy to pay attention to
On the
process.
Penguins.
Yeah, on the Penguins, because he's the one that's going to be the biggest difference maker as of right now coming up. And his numbers in the AHL, 5 wins, 0 losses, 7 goals against. His goals against average 1.4.
in the AHL.
In the
it's not like it's
AHL.
not.
It's not like you're-
juniors. It's not ECHL. It's AHL.
949 save percentage. This guy looks really. He showed signs of it last year and continued again, even more so far.
Yeah.
Early sample size, very small sample size, but it looks good.
But this just shows. When we were talking about Pittsburgh last year, we were talking about Bloomquist maybe being the main piece for the rebuild or the retooling.
Not Silovs.
But you see, Silov, we weren't speaking about Silovs last year. And now with the season he's having Silovs, he can be a good in-between before Murshov comes in and takes over. But if you're a Pittsburgh fan and you're seeing this is a great start to your
It's
rebuild.
a great start to the rebuild.
It's like even them playing Kindle.
Kendall, yeah, he scored his first goal this week.
You know, so I think this is a great start in a rebuild if he can keep it up. Listen, in the KHL, he had phenomenal numbers in the KHL. I had picked him up in Lama 3 years ago because I saw his KHL numbers. And I saw he was with Pittsburgh, who had Tristan Jarry. So whatever goalie they had, I was picking up because it was just Jarry. But he's a great piece to start the rebuild.
So Pittsburgh fans, at least you have something to look forward to for the future, but you also have something to look forward to right now. And we're kind of watching a movie, which is Back to the Future, or maybe Benjamin
solid.
Button, right? Like Crosby and Malkin, somehow this year are really coming out on fire. And I mean, I picked up Malkin in one of our leagues,
And his line mate in another league.
and his lineman in another league. But Malkin is doing very, very well. Yeah, Brazeau.
Yeah,
right?
Brazeau.
Yeah, I picked up Brazeau as well in Lama and Malkin in another league. And they're continuing their pace. I mean, what can you tell me about Crosby and Malkin right now, Junior?
They're pacing for over 100 points
Jeez.
at what? 39 and 38 years old, respectively.
What is this, the year 2000? Or
Man, talk about Back to the Future. I mean,
it wouldn't have been that long.
you know what? I'm not surprised about Crosby.
2015?
I'm not surprised about Crosby because he's shown a consistent pace even in the most recent years. Malkin, everyone seemed to think he was dipping because he wasn't as productive. So it's a little surprising to see. And I think it's huge for Pittsburgh because if there's one person that maybe might get traded, or even if he decides he wants to get traded, at this level, you're getting a ransom in return.
Yeah, I mean, right. You're still looking at it on a rebuilding
You have to, I think.
thought, right?
I think you have to because they're not deep in their prospect pool. So you need to build that up. And look, Crosby is Crosby. I think there's a difference between him and Malkin. He also has another year left on his contract where Malkin is a pending UFA, right?
Yeah.
So at 6.1, even if they retain, imagine getting Malkin at $3 million for half a season in the playoffs.
So yeah. I mean,
For the
Pittsburgh-
Panthers team that lost Barkov.
for Pittsburgh fans that are listening to this, like enjoy them while you have
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Enjoy this season the way it's going. There is a possibility that one of these, if not both of these, get traded by the end, which is also going to help your future. But for right now, I really think that you should enjoy these
Yeah,
graybeards.
for sure. And for Pittsburgh, I think their main focus right now is trying to get rid of Raquel, Carlson, and Rust. I think they'll start with them first.
Oh, Raquel got injured as well. eh?
Yeah,
So
Raquel's
they'll start with those, and then for Malkin and Crosby, I honestly think it's up to them. If they go to Dubas and say, I got the itch back, I want to try that one last run for a cup, Dubas will pull the trigger, but I don't think he'll pull it if they say no, we want to end our.
Oh, he's leaving it up to them for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah, this is their decision. This is not the Pittsburgh Penguins' decision.
And another sign that indicates Malkin is back is he makes those around him better.
Yeah.
Manta and Brazeau are having career years at the age of 27 and 31.
Yeah, Brazeau, 27 years old. He's been bouncing from I think it was the Leafs prospect camp or AHL teams, and this is his first real crack at the NHL. He's played 76 games before,
Yeah, well, he spent the last 3 years in the Providence Bruins in the AHL.
right?
But out
And
of
Marlies before that.
Maine Mariners and Toronto Marlies before that, yeah.
Yeah. So it just goes to show that you never know when it's
No.
I'm 40. I'm over 40, so there's no chance for me. But
No, we're done.
I think Junior might have a chance still to make the NHL. It's never too late, Junior. There's other gray beards as well.
You guys
that are-
didn't even wish me happy birthday last
Yeah,
week.
we
I know. We wish you off camera, and we really felt bad about it. And
because you're not 40 yet.
and that's why we brought you up here, by the way. That's why we brought you out to the wilderness to introspect a little bit on how we treated you. So we apologize for that as a podcast. And,
Apology not accepted.
yeah.
Oh, well, too bad for you, my friend.
So talking about graybeards like Crosby and Malkin, we have Kucherov, who got with his 1,000th point in the NHL. And I think 2 plays later or 3 plays later, Hedman gets his 800th point in the NHL. And we watched it while we were here in the wilderness.
We were asking ourselves why Tampa Bay was clearing the bench at some point when Kucherov.
That's right. We didn't even realize that
and
he had 1,000 points.
But like I said, Kucherov is off to a slow start compared to previous years. So maybe that was holding him down a bit, like on his mind a lot. And maybe it was.
He had a 2-point net on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe this might just, in French, say déclencher. And that he starts producing in the rate that especially fantasy owners want him to produce. And for Hedman, too, 800 points for a defenseman. That's
Mr. Consistent,
yeah,
man.
Exactly. That's a great achievement. for
Probably
him.
the best all-around defenseman since Lidstrom.
Absolutely. I think
I
that's
think
that's
so,
fair.
yeah.
I think that's
all
fair.
around 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And also, Tampa Bay is playing Vegas right now, and they're playing against a goalie called Limbaum,
Yeah.
who's playing his first NHL start. So,
Can't wait for Carter Hart to be back.
yeah, maybe that's the key here to take a look
And
at.
just a sign now, Tampa's the guys that started off slow out of the gate, they're starting to turn it around. Hagel had 2 points last game. He already has a goal in tonight versus the Vegas Golden Knights. So watch out for that.
Before that, I think he had 7 games played, 1 point.
And just because he's on the screen right now, Shea Theodore for the Vegas Golden Knights, he's back on power play 1 with the stone injury. So it's
Yeah.
another guy to keep an eye on.
So going from Crosby, Malkin, Kucherov, Hedman to another old man, Mr. Alexander the Great Ovechkin, the Great 8, played 1,500 games in the NHL. Does he still have fantasy relevance this season, Vince?
Yeah, 100%. Especially when all fantasy leagues tend to give a little more points for goals than assists. So I mean, even if he pots you 30 goals, it's not like there's 50 players in the league that can score 30 goals. So he's still fantasy relevant right now. He's just astonishing because when he started his career and was so physical, everybody said his career won't last very long or won't last more than 10 years, or he's going to slow down just because of the physicality he puts in his game. And look at him now after 18, 19 years, best goal scorer in history, and he's still putting up the points. I mean, I think last year Washington pushed his limits to get him those goals. I think this year they're controlling his minutes a little more, but I still think he can easily pot 30 goals this year and be beneficial for you. If he's your number 1 winger, then your fantasy team has a problem. But he can be a good 2-3 winger for you.
Well, I'll tell you, you mentioned about time on ice. Last year's time on ice, 17 minutes and 43 seconds. This year's time on ice, 17 minutes and 39 seconds. So
It's a lot.
they're not watching his minutes whatsoever. He's playing exactly the same amount that he was playing last year so far. He only has 2 goals and 5 assists, but that's still 7 points in 9 games. So he's still putting up points. So it looks like he's still going to be relevant this year.
Yeah, he's shooting a little less. I think that's probably why the goals are not where we're used to them being, where we're accustomed to them being. So
His shooting percentage is also dipped though, and that could be luck based.
yeah, so look, it's still very early. These are things that usually stabilize themselves at the 20 game mark. So between now and then, this is why we have the buy low and sell high segment, because between now and then is the time that you want to act
To get these guys.
Yeah, to get these guys or to get rid of them.
All right, guys. Another player who a lot was expected of them
Who might be
this
them
year
next?
might be the next Ovechkin.
to beat the record.
Austin Matthews in Toronto. So I want to bring up Austin Matthews in Toronto because we have a lot of people that we know from Toronto, a lot of big Toronto Maple Leaf fans who are very excited about the Blue Jays right now and not really paying as much attention to the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
It must feel good
It's
to
a
have
good
options.
thing. It's a good thing that the media is not focused on the Leafs right now.
Yeah. But Austin Matthews, it just feels that he might be, and this is the eye test, right? But he might be trying just a little bit too hard to show that he didn't need Marner, maybe, or he's trying to put a lot of weight on his shoulders because he's doing uncharacteristic things in the sense of I see him like trying to deke that one extra person that he wouldn't have done before. He's not shooting as often or as accurately maybe as he was shooting before. So like what do the stats say here and what are we is there an issue with Austin Matthews without Marner, or is this just Austin Matthews trying to do a little bit too much right now?
I just think naturally there's a transition that needs to be done. That's not just snap your fingers, put this guy on this line, and everything remains as it was. As good as Matthews was, his whole career, he's had Marner by his side. Literally, his whole career was Mitch Marner. You're not talking about a random guy that's easily replaceable. You're talking about a 100-point player who creates plays and drives play for you and creates the space for a lethal shooter like Matthews. Yes, Matthews doesn't need Marner. All I'm saying is that right now it's the transition. And I think the coaching staff is not helping because they keep juggling the lines. They're not allowing him to build chemistry with a specific line mate other than Nyes. And now they changed that up too.
So to be fair, he does have 7 points in his last 7 games.
Yes, but
your expectation for Matthews is...
But there's empty net points there. There's I think 2 goals are empty netters, or 1 goal is an empty net, 1 assist is an empty net. Yeah, throughout the year you're gonna get those, but I'm just saying I think the numbers statistically are a little flawed to start. But more so than we're used to for a guy like Matthews.
I think there's also a little more that I don't think people are looking at Marner's 100 points and the points Marner put, but the duo Marner and Matthew made also defensively when they were on the ice took pressure off of both of them because they knew they were both responsibly defensively. Now Matthews doesn't have that safety net anymore. So he, especially with a coach like Berube, he's making sure that defensively he's solid, and it might be taken away from his offense right now because he doesn't have the same trust he had in Marner. When playing with Marner, he could have pinched and knew I got Marner behind me, I'm good. But this year, he might not make that pinch to intercept the puck because he doesn't trust the players in his line as of yet. I'm not saying Nyes is not good defensively, but he's not a Marner defensively. I mean,
well, Marner, I think I saw a stat over this weekend where Marner is one of the best defensive forwards right now on Vegas.
But exactly. So Toronto didn't only lose a 100-point player; they lost one of their best two-way forwards.
Yeah.
And now that pressure is falling on Matthews, and I think he's trying right now to balance. How am I going to balance both these and be comfortable with the guys around me?
And I wanna add, because it's very important, the best defense is a good offense. And Matthews, Marner were able to control the play in the offensive zone for how good they were together.
Right.
If Matthews is trying to do that alone, or with Machelli and Roy, or just Nyes, like, it's not the same, guys. It's not the same. So now you're right. He does have to fall back in defensive coverage more often. And Matthews is among one of the best two-way centers in the game. He's developed to that level. I have to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference right now is that he might be spending a little more time in his own zone that he's not used to, because he used to be able to control the play with his partner in Marner in the offensive zone and the offensive blue line. And I think that's what's chewing away at his numbers, not his skill or his quality.
There's 2 other players on Toronto that I wanted to touch on. There's Nylander, who seems to be day-to-day because he's expected to maybe be back by Tuesday.
Yeah, it was game time decision. He took warm-ups last game but didn't play.
And Riley as well.
Yeah, he played last game though.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, so Riley's back. Nylander, just keep an eye out for Nylander before the Tuesday games because he might not be in again. We don't know. Moving on. Another injury, which is a beautiful segue. I love how this is all organized here for us. Jared McCann injured again from Seattle. So McCann has been placed on IR. Keep an eye out on him because it doesn't look like he had started off the year pretty good. 5 games played, 3 goals,
4
1
points.
assist, 4 points. He was pretty much on pace to do what he usually does. But
And he's usually a steady, since 2021, he's played 74, 79, 80, 82 games. So he's been very consistent with that. So it's a loss to Seattle, but it seems Seattle's still doing very well.
well, one of the reasons they're doing really well is who replaces him in that lineup. Well, it looks like it's Berkeley Catton.
who's shown that he deserves to stay in the NHL.
The benefit of having 4 second lines.
The benefit of having 4 second lines is that you could easily replace when one goes down. That's very true. So we already mentioned about Schwartz and how great he's starting. He's on a line with Wright and Nyman. And Berkeley Catton, Berniers, and Eberle seems to be the lineup here. And then you have a Stevenson, Tolvanen, Mason Marchment line.
Struggling with that.
Yeah, Mason Marchment, is he trying to do too much, him too, or...
That whole line's struggling. Tolvanen is struggling compared to his numbers of last year. I think Marchman wants to prove that he belongs in the top 6. So sometimes you see him a little too much. I wouldn't be surprised if Shane Wright pushes to second line centerman at some point.
Well, I mean,
now it's there. He's
it's
there
kind
anyways
of-
because
it's
his
kind of-
line's doing better than
Yeah.
offensively than the Stevenson line, right?
Yeah.
So, but listen, McCann is a hit, but it seems like Seattle has the depth to make up for the absence that he's going to have.
And naturally, when these young guys start performing, the veterans start to decrease a little bit. You have guys like Shane Wright who are starting to find their way in the NHL, 5 points in 9 games. You have Beniers, who's off to a pretty good start at 6 points in 9 games. So you want to see that from these young guys out of the gate, right? And naturally, guys like Marchment that you're maybe used to getting a little bit more points, maybe even a Stevenson might start like decreasing a little bit depending on the deployment. I was surprised Catton even got an opportunity this year. I thought he was still pretty young, a little too young, considering all the depth they have. I didn't think they would call him up. 2 points in 4 games, just under 14 minutes of ice time. Not bad. He looks pretty good. We saw him play a little bit against Edmonton the other day. He looked okay.
The court has been looking good as well.
The court's been fantastic.
Big change or not big change for this team, but he's maintained it.
Stability. Finally,
yeah.
some stability, yeah.
All right. Going on to another injury after the McCann injury is Dylan Strome. He left Saturday's game. Line combinations might take a big hit if Dylan Strome is not there.
This is going to hurt Washington if Dylan Strome is out for any significant time. I mean, there's Connor McMichael who can play center.
Dubois came back.
Dubois came back from injury, so that saves him a bit. But I mean, the chemistry that Dylan Strome had with Ovechkin and Protas, this could be a big hit if it's a long-term injury. We don't know yet. We had no information has come out yet. But if it's a long-term injury, it could be a big hit for Washington.
Yeah, I agree. Long-term injury, this is rough. I think even if you put Connor McMichael, and Dubois as your number 1 and 2 centers, because McMichael could play both. But long-term, I think that hurts you. I'm curious if a guy like Justin Sourdif, who they want to pick up this year, he's been playing third-line minutes, more or less, with Hendrix Lapierre and Ryan Leonard. I wonder if maybe that's a guy who can get the call-up in the top line. Maybe just keep an eye on the lines.
I don't know about top line, but
but
it gives them that center depth that they need.
My guess is McMichael gets the opportunity, or Dubois goes up and McMichael goes back to
And if
center.
anybody gets called up, it could be
Roshnichenko?
Yeah, Miroshchenko maybe.
But he's a winger too, eh?
Yeah, he's
Le-
not
le-
a
But
center.
that's why you're going to push. You might not have a choice but to push McMichael to center.
Lapierre could play
temporarily.
center.
Well, another center, because centers are things that are very important to look at. Some teams are desperate for second line centers, and one team, which is Vancouver, actually went out and paid to get a player that they think might be an answer to that second line center role in Lucas Reichel, and they played him there on Saturday.
They give up a third?
Fourth.
A fourth. So I mean, it's a low risk move from Vancouver in a position they really need help in.
Yeah.
So Lucas Reichel has had a lot of hype around him ever since he's been drafted, ever since he was with Chicago. I mean, if you look at all the Dober especially had him really high on his list of potential star NHLers. Unfortunately, for some reason in Chicago, it hasn't worked out. I think in Vancouver, he's going to get his opportunity. Foote already was impressed with his game against Montreal yesterday. So I think he'll get his opportunity. Now, is it going to pan out? Right now, you can't say yes because he's had the opportunity with Chicago and never took it.
Yeah, I mean, he's surrounded by some different players here in Vancouver as opposed to what he was surrounded by in Chicago. And Chicago's in a different place in the rebuild, right? Vancouver's not really looking for a rebuild. So playing with players like Bezer and Kane, he brings a little bit of skill and finesse to that line. So
and the reason they went to acquire him was because Philip Hedl got hurt. So when he comes back, if it's not long term, how much does that impact Reichel? He's got a very short sample size now to take advantage of this opportunity.
Hedl got a concussion, his sixth concussion.
Yeah.
Two goalies recently rejoined their teams but haven't played yet, and that is Blackwood and Woll. So Blackwood and Woll have rejoined their teams.
Yeah.
They haven't played yet. Maybe just keep an eye out on that. It's. I'm not going to ask for your takes too much, but I mean, we've kind of seen a little bit of Stolarz struggling. The whole team is kind of struggling a little bit.
Even Wedgwood.
Even Wedgwood, the last couple of games. I'm not talking about because he started off very well.
Yeah.
But the last couple of games, you kind of see him taking a toll on him.
He's allowed more goals. He still made some ridiculous saves, but he's allowed more goals, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe this is good timing for Blackwood and Woll to rejoin their teams. You could ring the bell on that one. That one is a 30-second take. Hey, we did one. We did one 30-second take, guys. And finally, Misa.
Rock. No?
And finally, Misa scores his first goal.
Yeah, while we're doing a podcast.
You know, and credit, guys, no one reacted right away.
Yeah.
No one got distracted and mentioned it live.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of you guys for not watching the TV while we're doing this episode.
Well, we're kind of glad.
Just stop hitting me on my leg.
I have to keep doing that because, first goal in the NHL for Michael Misa, second point, I think.
Yeah.
Or third. Second or third point right now?
Good question. I believe it is third.
I believe it's his third as well. But, guys, enjoy Michael Misa. He's coming
Second
as
point.
well.
Third point with the goal.
Third point.
Yeah.
Perfect.
2 assists, 1 goal.
Guys, that's the end of the Odd Man Rush.
Odd Man Rush.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
At Boar's Head, we make game day entertaining elevated and effortless. Whether you order catering platters ahead from your local deli or create your own spread with premium deli meats and cheeses, you're sure to impress your guests with the very best. Fan favorites like Oven Gold Turkey, paired with our classic Vermont cheddar, are sure to score big. Game-winning flavor in every bite. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
All right, guys, hockey is back. And this season, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, brings you all the speed, skill, and nonstop action that you love. DraftKings Sportsbook delivers the unmatched intensity of the NHL right to your fingertips, from player props to the thrill of live in-game betting. Every drop of the puck is your shot to win big. We've had a couple of fun ones in this time while we were up here. I believe that we missed on 1 or 2 of them just by 1 point, and maybe 2 shots on another one, because I like betting the shots on goal thing. I find that's always fun to be watching a player. Oh, is that his shot on goal, or was that the other player's shot on goal? And we're all losing our minds over here. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, bet responsibly. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out $300 in bonus bets instantly. Light the lamp all season with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with the DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
Wake up to the aroma of fresh bread and warm croissants baked every morning at Boulangerie Pâtisserie Italia. From cannolis to crusty Italian loaves, every bite is made with passion, tradition, and a touch of Italy. Come taste the difference, where every pastry tells a story and every loaf is baked with love. Boulangerie Pâtisserie Italia, situated at 5496 Jean Talon East, St. Leonard. Come visit.
That Nick affectionately calls Pebble, but no one else likes it. Partial breakaway listeners leave.
Share a little candle right in between you guys over there.
That's what I was actually hoping to do. I was doing my fake lighter here.
That might have been your best contribution to this podcast.
Wow.
That's how good it is. That's what I
But you're discrediting all the other stuff I do. All right, I guess I see how this is. Vince,
it's what the fans react to.
So, Junior,
The millions.
the
So
millions.
to the trillions, the billions, and the millions who are listening and are part of our Pebble fantasy hockey podcast fantasy group, we're just going to give you a quick update. Obviously, Junior is in a humorous mood because right now, if we look at the standings, he's 1-2. So Junior is in first, Junior is in second.
It's a scam.
And then Bigfoot, which is myself, in third, Bono 7 in fourth, and listener Rooks in fifth. I'm not going to go down, but all you need to know is from first to 20th, there's only a 70-point difference. So it's anybody's game right now. We're going to discuss our lineups of our next week. Before we do that, I'm just going to give you a quick tally of who's playing 4 games, who's playing 3, who's playing 2. So first, we're going to go with the 2 games. So I know some of you have really overcharged the ELC contracts for the Chicago Blackhawks with Bedard and Nazar. Well, this week is not the time because they only play 2 games. They are the only team that only plays 2 games, so it's a team.
The wrong week. You're in the wrong week.
No, not. Oh, wait.
Yeah, because the Habs play 2 games.
Let me see.
So
Yes,
basically,
sorry.
what you said for
Florida.
Lane Hudson.
Yeah, Lane Hudson and Demidov.
And Demidov. Yeah.
So Florida and Montreal play 2 games. Seattle also only plays 2 games. Utah, who had a big week this week, I guess. No Cooley, no Gunter, no. We're just avoiding all. They're playing 2 games, and so is Vegas with Eichel and Marner. Now, the ones who are playing 4 games, you have St. Louis, San Jose, Pittsburgh, Philly, Ottawa, Islanders, New Jersey, Detroit, Columbus, Calgary, and Boston. So Junior, I'm gonna go with you first. What's your tactics for this week?
So my Junior 2 team is my combo team. Boston is playing 4 games. They're playing the Senators, the Islanders, the Sabres before they play the Hurricanes. So I'm expecting goals, and there's only one guy who provides goals on that team. So I took $11 million and I put it on Pasternak. And then I started doing combos for teams that play 4 games. So Dylan Larkin. Oh, this did not update. Shit. Okay. Anyways, I got Dylan Larkin. Then I've got. I did a mistake because this was my my combo team, but I
How is it every week?
No,
on
but
this
it doesn't
podcast
matter.
You mess up PBL.
It doesn't matter. I just swapped my strategies. So my Junior 2 strategy was combos, but I put best available players. Anyways.
Okay.
But so
I forgive you.
basically, I have Larkin who plays 4 games, Malkin who plays 4 games, Gritsuk who scored tonight. I got him on an entry-level contract. I got Ken Johnson who's starting to turn it around. Matvey Mishkov looked good with Zegras on Saturday night. So I hope he feeds off that and goes off. I took Drysdale, who's power play 1 on that team and is playing 4 games. Matthew Schaefer is also playing 4 games. The one position that came a little easy to me was goalie. Calgary is playing 4 games. Only one is set as back-to-back. So I decided to go with Dustin Wolf.
They don't win much.
They don't win much, but they get shot on a lot. So I'm hoping to get saves. And look, they're 1-7-1. So if they can get 2 wins and break out of this mini slump, that'll be good because you'll get a lot of saves plus the wins. It's just the other teams, I feel like a lot of those goalies could only play 2 games instead of 4. You know, like teams like Detroit, it could be Gibson and Talbot.
Yeah.
Teams like
Columbus
or Florida. Not Florida, but Philly. Also, Urson and who do they have? Rittich, Vladar?
Vildar.
Yeah. Anyway, so then on my other team, combos, I'll go through it quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but San Jose's playing 4 games, so I put Celebrini, Eklund, Dylan Larkin, and Emmett Fernie. Another entry-level contract. It's been a surprise so far, so I'm going to jump on the Finney bandwagon. Marchenko.
It's true. That's a very good point. Finney's been doing very well.
Yeah, Columbus starting to score goals, so I took Kirill Marchenko and Zach Werenski, and Matt Schaefer and Dustin Wolf.
All right, that's enough about your teams. I'm going to tell you my strategy for this week. I'm changing it up a little bit.
Ooh, I like that. Why? What did you have before, and what are you changing it up to?
So before I was just picking guys with salaries that fit, that are playing top 6, and they are playing 4 games. Okay, that has gotten me absolutely nowhere.
I know your highest position is 34th.
34th is my best position. So I need to change this up. So whoever's listening, you could actually ignore whatever I tell you. But
Or do the opposite.
Just do the opposite of what I tell you here. So I'm going with guys that are playing 4 games again, but I'm going with guys that are hot. So, and this is not...
What temperature?
400 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so I'm going with guys like Morgan Geekie from Boston.
4 games.
4 games. Shane Pinto started off the year pretty hot.
Hot.
Right?
Burning.
Emil Heineman. I needed a cheap contract, and he's still playing top 6 minutes in the Islanders, and he's been doing pretty well with shots on goal and some goals here and there. Jack Hughes.
On fire.
Jack Hughes is absolutely on fire, and that's one of my big ticket guys. I went with Justin Brazeau, who's also putting up points with Malkin. We spoke about him before. I'm going with Pasta. That's my other big ticket item. Boston's playing 4 times, like I mentioned before. Lane Hudson and Schaefer are my cheap contracts, but they're also on fire.
Did you think of changing Hudson because he's only playing 2 games, or?
I needed a contract that was lower. And I know he's only playing 2 games, but he just puts up points every game.
So basically, you're saying he'll get as many points, if not more, than someone at that salary that's playing 3-4
But
games.
Schaefer could be an easy replacement to Hudson.
He has
And
it. He has both.
No, I'm saying for listeners that are thinking, Hudson.
And we both took Schaefer, so I mean, this seems to be like a no-brainer.
I've taken Schaefer also. My lineup, there's even Perek who's playing 4 games. Hasn't proven as much. Bouillon also.
I went with Jake Allen as well.
Yeah, as goalie because we don't know.
$1.8 million.
Exactly. See, so for my tactics, especially for Bigfoot, I made a huge jump this week, and mostly because I had all Utah players
Yeah,
and San
Utah.
Jose players, because they each played 4 games and they had the easiest schedule. This week, because there's so many teams that are playing 4 games, and I registered 3 teams, I divided them 2 teams per 2 teams. So with my Bigfoot team, it's basically what I'm doing with my Bigfoot team is I'm looking at the easiest schedules out there. So I have Columbus and Detroit. They both play 4 games. Detroit plays St. Louis, Kings, Anaheim, San Jose. All West Coast trip, but still teams that are not doing very well. So especially St. Louis, who might have lost Robert Thomas, for a while.
Love it. Once per episode, guys. Once per episode, he has to mess up a game. A name.
And Columbus also is playing Buffalo, who's Jekyll and Hyde. Toronto, who's struggling right now. St. Louis and the Islanders. So that I loaded up with players like Larkin, Raymond, Marchenko, Emmett Finney, low contract, doing really well. I took a risk on Adam Fantilli. He's not doing very well, Adam Fantilli, right now, but at 950 at some
Unfortunately, he's having a slow start.
Yeah, and as my goalie, I took Jet Greaves. He's guaranteed 2 games because the Columbus is playing 2 back-to-backs. But with the contract he has, it fit into my schedule, so into my salary. And my other teams, like I said, I took Philly, Pittsburgh, combined their players together, and then added a few odds and ends. And then we'll see if we get the same luck as this week.
All right, guys, and that does it for our PBLL roundup.
Good luck this week, everybody.
Good luck this week.
That Nick affectionately calls Pebble, but no one else likes it. Partial breakaway listener.
And just to add with the PBL, just for the league, I like to do the weekly winners basically during the week. Not this week because I'm at the top at 176.
No wonder he wanted to mention that after we already did
By the way,
outro.
you know what? Just because you're doing that, we're going to say that technically you're not in third, man. You didn't look at the live scoring.
Oh, okay, well,
Actually, Sergachev just scored, so maybe you
there
are.
you go. Probably from Cooley and Gunther, so we're good. So basically, so far, there's still, 3 games going on?
Right now, there's 3 games that are live, and 5 games live, and 3 more. Well,
so basically,
so many games tonight.
Yeah, Bigfoot got 176. Juniors team got 150. Captain America 144. Iron Man 142. Listener Rooks 140. So as I see, that's why I took such a big jump, because of the point differential. But by tomorrow, this could completely change depending on what the night games have to give us.
Okay, we're an hour into the episode.
Yes, go.
Let's do our buy low and sell high segment to end it off. I think we do have a soundbite and a word from our sponsor as well.
Yeah, well, the sponsor is verbal. So it's brought to you by A&C Photo Booth for unforgettable experiences at your big events. A professional photo booth service with a discount if you tell them Partial Breakaway sent you. Look, it's that time of year where you're starting to, I know you don't want to hear it, but it's the time of year where you're starting to plan your Christmas parties. And every Christmas party needs a photo booth. And Cynthia, Andrew have the best combination, which is price and service. And on top of that, the cherry on top of the cake is if you tell them we sent you. So give them a shout, reach out to them at acphotobooths.ca or on Instagram at ancphotobooths. All right, so what we're going to do this week, because between weeks 3 and 4, it's about that time of year where we start thinking of players.
Here we go. Money talk.
Wow.
Did I pick the right one?
We're going to get flagged. That was cool. That was like in wrestling when someone's talking and gets interrupted.
Here comes Stone Cold.
So what I was just getting at is we went from the time of year to start planning Christmas parties to the time of year where you should start planning to buy low or sell high. Because what happens is the first 3 weeks, a lot of these trends are not sustainable. Whether they're bad trends or good trends, it's only around the 20 game mark that you start to see it stabilize itself. So we're going to start right away with the buy low candidates, and we're going to go to St. Louis Blues, who are a struggling team out of the gate. We were expecting much more from them. Dylan Holloway and Pavel Buchnevich. Are you guys buying low on these guys? Are you staying away, or are you like just keeping them?
Well, before I mention exactly what I'm going to say here, sticking to the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme, there are times during this whole getaway that I did want to stun you. Dylan Holloway, Pavel Buchnevich, and I could even throw in Robert Thomas into this, right? Because he got injured, I believe, and is questionable for next week. So be careful about that as well. Dylan Holloway, Pavel Buchnevich, Robert Thomas, all three of them, I believe, have started off very, very slowly. I kind of see Buchnevich doing a little bit more this last game on Saturday.
They've shown signs this weekend.
Holloway showed signs of coming back as well. This might be your last chance to buy low on these players.
Yeah.
So if you have a frustrated, because I'm a Holloway owner in my family league that I'm with, my cousin Yanni runs it, and it's the Tom League. Basically, Dylan Holloway has been doing nothing for me this whole entire time, and this weekend kind of showed that he might be coming back. But as a frustrated owner, if somebody would come up to me and offer me something for Holloway, maybe I'd consider it.
Well, in loose pucks, we have it's a cap league, right? And Carter Hart just signed, and Edmonton, which I believe is listener Claudio, needs to make $2 million in cap space in order to fit Carter Hart by December. And he's got Dylan Holloway. So I reached out and wondered if that's a guy he's willing to unload.
You weren't the only one.
See, my point, right? And I think listener Umbi, who's in the background somewhere in here,
he's listening to us from the sky.
Also reached out to Claudio. So Vince, is that someone you'd be interested in as a buy low candidate?
In a buy low, I think you're better off with Buchnevich. I would go if you give me the choice between the two, I'd go for Buchnevich because Buchnevich is guaranteed.
There's a longer road, right? Like
yeah, exactly. So,
history.
But I'd go Buchnevich, but even Holloway, all depending on what the price is, right? So, but if you're buying low, it's because you're not paying a very high price for it. But any of these two players will help your team in the future because they're both going to pick it up.
Okay, well, here's another player who could really help your team and helps his team, except this year he's not really helping them the way we thought he would. The Brinket is a natural 30 to 35 goal scorer, and he's got 1 goal on the season, but has 8 points in 9 games. Yeah. So I think there's some GMs here that could be frustrated with this because most leagues count goals for more. How do you guys feel about this? Are you tuning in? Are you just getting informed on the Brinket? If you own the Brinket, is it someone you're willing to part ways with, Vince?
No, I'd struggle to part ways with him just because he's been so consistent. 32 goals, 41 goals, 27, 39. I mean, anybody who scores over 25 goals is an asset to your team. Mm-hmm. So unless you're really loaded on your wings and need help somewhere else, but if you're selling low, what are you getting back for him, right? So if
you're buying,
you're buying low.
Frustrated owner might be willing to sell him, get him off the team.
Yeah, if he has another deal going, then 100% I take the chance on the break.
Maybe he has somebody on his bench that.
Yeah, exactly. So he's consistently scored.
I have
25.
one stat I want to talk about.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's the same one. So go ahead. Very important,
guys. The Brinket has a 2.9 shooting percentage. 2.9.
Unsustainable.
It's unsustainable in a good way. Like there's a positive regression happening here. So he's going to start putting them in soon. He's a player that goes anywhere between 27 to 35 to 39 goals, right? You're not expecting this 1 goal for to actually be the way he ends the season. So I think that, and even having said that, his point pace is actually similar to what it is last year, but it's mostly assists so far. So it's just goes to show.
All right, moving on to another guy who we were kind of fading a little bit to start the season, but has turned it around a little bit. 4 points in 9 games.
Yesterday too.
And last night was pretty good. But 70% of power play time. Miro Heiskanen. $8 million cap. Didn't start on power play 1, but they seem to be alternating. Anyways, he's got 70% of that power play, which is more than probably Harley has. So are we buying low on Miro Heiskanen, or is he not producing enough to buy at this price?
I drafted Miro Heiskanen in a redraft league. And in the redraft league that I had him, I ended up dropping him for Ziv Buyam because Zeev Boyum was a free agent, and Zeev Boyum was doing much better. Now, I got a couple of injuries like McCann, so I had the IR room where I could go ahead and call somebody up again. I picked up Heiskanen again because I kind of missed out on a week or two of him not performing, and now he's starting to really push the envelope and starting to get some of that time back. So I think that it's a perfect buy low opportunity if you find a Miro Heiskanen owner who's very willing to get rid of him. And I can also throw out another name here.
Shoot.
Not as good as Miro Heiskanen, but perhaps somebody that could also be a buy low candidate is Brock Faber. Brock Faber got his first point this weekend.
Another one tonight.
And another one tonight. So again, you're talking about guys that play a lot of ice time. There's a lot of ice time for these guys. They're going to get their points. Just because they started with 0-7 doesn't mean that they're going to end the season being a bottom 5 defenseman in the league.
Just the flag with Faber is 4% power play time.
That's the difference. Heiskanen, you go after Heiskanen first just because you know he's getting the percent.
He's a better buy low
right
candidate.
now.
I agree completely.
So, and especially in cap league, some people some GMs might not like his cap hit compared to the points he's doing. So if you're a rebuilding team, this could be a great player to as a pillar in your defense to rebuild.
Well, the opposite of a rebuilding team is the Edmonton Oilers. And they're struggling out of the gate. And we mentioned them before, and we mentioned them last episode, and I think we're going to keep mentioning him until he turns it around. But is Evan Bouchard a buy low candidate? And to a certain extent, is Jake Wallman a buy low candidate? Because with one struggle, if he keeps struggling, Jake Wallman's the guy that's going to get the next opportunity.
No,
How long are they going to wait for Evan Bouchard?
Right now, if we watched the game on Saturday night with Edmonton, and we had Jake Wallman and Evan Bouchard both on the ice at the same time for the last 10 minutes of the game because they needed a goal. So it shows to me that Chris Knockblock is going to be using Wallman in offensive situations whenever he gets a chance, as well as Bouchard. Now, Bouchard has started off the season so poorly that there might be owners of Bouchard out there looking at his $10 million contract in a cap league especially and saying, like, I don't know if I could wait to have him start doing something with that big of a cap hit against him. But my suggestion, don't sell on Evan Bouchard. If you have a chance to buy low, please, by all means, make an offer. But if you have that owner, he's a keep right now, you hold on to him until he turns it around. Jake Wallman might be a buy low candidate, though, because the way that they're deploying him is not everybody that plays fantasy understands that Jake Wallman is being deployed in an offensive role as much as he is in Edmonton. He's the number 2 offensive defenseman, I would say, on this team because Nurse is the flex pucks in front of the net.
With superstars like Evan Bouchard, it's very hard to sell low because you probably invested so much in this player, especially in a cap league. But in a cap league, sometimes you'll have no choice because $10.5 million is a lot for a player who doesn't produce, especially the way the salaries are going for next year and stuff like that. So if he's out there, yes. Like, I mean, you're not accepting a third round. But
he's not playing well. Let's be honest.
No, he's not
here.
playing well.
We mentioned it before, so I didn't want to keep harping on it, but he looks like a pylon out there.
Yeah, listen.
His shots are not getting through.
No. Yeah, and I think it's once the whole Edmonton team recharges or regroups, it will affect him offensively. But right now, the whole team is struggling, so it's not helping him at all.
Yeah, and he's getting bad penalties and everything. But like you said, Wallman, 3 points in 3 games, 20 minutes of ice time a game.
And he just came back from an injury, and he got 3 points in 3 games with 20 minutes of ice time.
Don't forget, Edmonton wants to win. So if Bouchard is going to cause them more harm than good when he's on the ice, it's only a matter of time where he's going to lose a bit of time, ice time.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone who gained an ice time joining his new team is Nikolai Ehlers. He's now at just under 18 minutes a game. In Winnipeg was less than 16 minutes of ice time a game. The problem is that we were expecting him to get more points with more ice time, and he's getting less points with more ice time. He seems to be showing signs of turning the corner this
Signs
weekend.
of life.
Signs of life.
Somebody's poking him with a
He's
stick.
got a heartbeat.
You know that meme of the stick figure, and he's like sticking the guy on the floor.
I swear we were on the verge of a Halloween episode calling him a ghost, searching for his ghost. But anyway, Ehlers has 3 points in 8 games. He's playing 17 minutes of ice time. Are we trying to buy low on Ehlers, or are you fading him?
3 points in his last 3 games. So that means he started off the season 5 games played, 0 points. So there seems to be a small hot streak starting with Ehlers right now. And the funny thing is, ladies and gentlemen, he has a 0% shooting percentage because he has no goals. But that's not the way it's going to end, right? I see this story turning around, and it might be turning around quite quickly. We've always said it, that Brind'Amour has a system that he wants to play, and this player needs to learn and adapt to this system in order to be good. Give him some time.
The benefit of the doubt here is that his line mates are on fire.
On fire. Seth
Aho
Jarvis
and
looks
Seth
like a
Jarvis
superstar player.
are on fire.
Yeah. Listen, Ehlers, it's an adaptation. Carolina's system is not an easy system to adapt to, and
I love that you said
play.
adapt.
So give him time, but he's a natural point getter. So I just sit a bit more, wait for the 20 games played, and then reassess everything once that's done.
I don't know if it's because he's with us, but there seems to be a trend of ex or current listener Umbi players here. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is Sam Reinhart. Sam Reinhart of the Florida Panthers. Apologies, I'm a little behind here loading his stats. 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points in 10 games, a -4. He lost his
Batman.
He lost his Batman in Alex Barkov. 15% shooting percentage over his shots on goal are more or less the same. His shooting percentage is average. 21 minutes of ice time. What are we doing with Sam Reinhart? He's only pacing for 40 points and he's a point per game player. Is he turning that around? Because the numbers show that he's not really struggling other than his points.
Well, so Vince just
His
mentioned
peripherals, if
adapting,
you
right?
will.
And we're talking about adapting for Ehlers on a new team. Here we have Sam Reinhart adapting to not having Barkov
And Matthew Tkachuk.
and Matthew Tkachuk.
I mean,
There's a lot of pressure on him.
like you're selling a player like Reinhardt if you're competing and need points. But if you're in the middle of the pack, you're holding still and hoping he can come back to, because
a frustrated owner might be willing to part with him
Yeah,
right now,
exactly.
saying that this is a lost season for Florida,
Yeah.
right? Because Barkov's not there. So Reinhart, we talked about Matthews and Marner. You can't tell me that this is not going to affect Reinhart,
100%, exactly.
right? He lost his Marner in Barkov.
Okay, so just because it's a real life situation, listener Umbi has Reinhardt and he's in win now mode. So, like, what does someone in that position do? It depends on the offers you get?
Oh, it always depends on the offers you get.
Yeah, but like, do you actually listen and put them out there and see what there is to get? Or
So-
do you like settle for something as long as it's better than what he's providing?
I wouldn't, if I'm listener Umbi, I'm not actively trying to sell him because you're not selling him at his highest rate here. But if somebody approaches listener Umbi with a deal that might help him this year, especially if he's going for it this year. If he's not going for it, it's a different story. You could hold on forever. But if you're going for it this year, this player is wasting a spot on your team and he's wasting salary cap space at $8.6 million. So you might be willing to listen if you may be getting an older player that's producing more.
But I don't think you get that player with Reinhardt. What you do is you go out and see if you can get another player from another team, and then if you have a trade going that you see is going to make your team better, then Reinhardt is the player that you start selling off and offering to other teams because you've got his replacement already.
Yeah, I think you're going a little in the weeds there.
But because
if I show up with I'm a team that's rebuilding, or not a team that's rebuilding, bottom of the pack, it doesn't look like this is my year. But I have a couple of older players that are doing very well, like, I don't know, Crosby.
Well, then you're not selling low. You're getting Crosby.
No, but me as the Crosby owner,
of course.
maybe because I'm on the bottom, I don't need Crosby next year. Crosby next year is going to be 38 years old or 39 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to retool on the fly, right? maybe Reinhardt is a person I could go out and buy because he's not doing as well as he's supposed to be doing,
and give up
the older guy in order to get a Reinhardt who's going to help me next year and the year after, for a player like Crosby who's going to help listener Umbi now, because now is when he needs it.
Yeah,
right?
look, in another situation, maybe you're not
It's just
adding an
theoretical,
asset or a pick to Reinhardt to get a Crosby, right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe in this case, if you want to win now, you sacrifice that smaller asset to pair him with him to get that Crosby.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking a lot of hypotheticals
Yeah,
here.
of
But
course. No, but
the
just to
point
give
is that as a buy low, if I'm looking for someone to buy low on, I think Sam Reinhart for this year is a buy low candidate.
All right, the last one, and we're going to pair them together, even though, like others on this list, they might be showing signs of
The
life.
last buy low.
Yes,
we
the
have a
last
bunch
buy
of
low.
sell highs as well.
Yes, stay tuned for that. Adam Fantilli and Kent Johnson.
It's maybe a 4-hour podcast.
Yeah.
Adam Fantilli and Ken Johnson of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The team in general was struggling to score. They've been shooting a lot, but not scoring a lot. It seems to have turned the corner a little bit this weekend. Fantilli, 5 points in 8 games. And Ken Johnson has 4 points in 8 games, pacing for 51 and 41 points respectively. What are we doing with these two guys? It's a little different with them. It's a little more difficult because they're young, right?
I
So
have
it's
a
hard to get
strategy.
rid of them.
Any player under 25, you can't sell low, especially players in that magnitude. In Fantilli and Ken Johnson, you hold on to them whether they're doing bad or not. You hold on to them because they're young players. They're going to go through their ruts. They're going to go through their mishaps. But you can't. Two young players, I think they're 21 and 22. You can't.
Well, here's the thing. Again, we're talking about the buying side.
21 and 23.
Yeah,
If
but it's
you're-
nice to talk about the buying side, but it's unrealistic to think that someone's going to be selling Ken Johnson and Fantilli.
You don't know that.
Low.
You don't know that. See, that's
Your
the
job
point.
is to inquire.
The buy low.
Yeah, you inquire.
The whole point of buy low is that you're making an offer for a player that might be valued or being seen as valued a little bit less than he usually is because he's starting off bad this year. So, for example, for me, in the family league that I'm in, which is Tom's Hockey Pool, in that hockey pool, I sold Ken Johnson. I sold him low. But the reason is because I got an offer that would help me this year because I'm going for it for a player that was struggling at the beginning of the year. And I can't wait until he's 25 years old and more consistent.
But who did you get for him?
I've made like 100 trades, but I think this trade might have been for... it was a package deal, and I ended up getting the defenseman from Washington, Chikrin.
Then it's not.
It's buy low in the sense of I gave up multiple pieces of younger pieces to get a Chikrin, whereas I never would have thought of getting rid of Kent Johnson
At the beginning.
If I wasn't so emotionally invested in this guy because he's one of my fantasy crushes, if you will, I would have to consider it as someone who wants to win now.
That's right.
He's my starting left wing, one of 3 starting left wingers, and that I don't have a lot of depth at.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I would have had to consider. I might have to consider. Like, do you hold on to this guy because you love him and lose out on all the points that you can get by someone else? Or, do you hold on just a little longer to see if he turns it around?
Right. So that's the buying side, right, of everything. Junior, and the selling side, now we're talking about what Vince is talking about, which is if I own this player and I want to make sure I capitalize on the market.
And we're going to stay with the same team because Dmitry Voronkov has been off to a hot start. And because I own him, I know that he's always off to a hot start. This guy's first quarter of the season is always fire. And then he slows down a little bit. His deployment slows down a little bit. So is this the time to sell high on Dmitry Voronkov, who is leading the team in points right now with 9 points in 8 games, obviously pacing for 92 points, 2.5 power play minutes. He's only getting 15 minutes of ice time. So is it now the time to sell high on Voronkov?
I would say yes. 5 points in his last 4 games. Last year, he had 52-point pace. The year before that, 37-point pace. And then he hadn't played in the NHL before that. Now, you're going to tell me that Voronkov is on a team that's on the up and up, and I would agree with you. Yes, they are on an up and up, but he has a 29% shooting percentage. If I'm going to capitalize on this guy's 92-point pace currently, it's now that you sell him. Of course, you could keep him if you really think that this is sustainable, but if I'm looking to capitalize on the market, I think that a 92-point pace is when to do it.
But there's nothing to show you that it's sustainable. So if you get the right offer, you definitely sell him high, because he's proven he can get, like Junior says, a hot start, but 47 points, 23 goals, 34 points, 18 goals. I mean, if you for sure, there's a sell high candidate if you get the right offer for him, and if there's GMs that are desperate enough that think that he can keep this up, you sell him high.
So he's a sell high for you as
Yeah,
well.
for sure. He hasn't proven that he can get more than 50 points.
Not a lot of sample size, right?
Yeah.
He's only played 2 seasons before this.
Okay, so we're going to move on to, we mentioned him earlier when speaking of Sam Reinhart, and this guy has proven that he could do it before. Brad Marchand, 37, going on 38. He's on a 90-point pace, 11 points in 10 games. Obviously, with the injuries they have, he's playing 18 minutes a game. And he's been basically, he put the Florida Panthers on his back to start the season and is helping them stay above, keeping their head above water. Is now the time to sell high on Brad Marchand? Do you guys think this is sustainable?
Well, he has no choice. There's nobody else coming to help until February.
Yeah,
Chuck's not coming to help.
Can he do it for that long?
Yeah, I think he could. I mean, who else is going to get points on that team?
Maybe
If it's-
nobody.
Yeah, but I think they're too well coached for nobody to get points on that team. I think Florida will keep their head above water. And the only way to do it is if Marchand gets those offensive points that he wouldn't. He's getting the opportunity on power play 1. He's getting all the opportunities he wouldn't have gotten if Barkov and Kachuk were there. So
And exactly because you said that is exactly the reason I think he's a sell high
yeah,
candidate.
for sure.
You have to sell him now that he's hot and getting these opportunities that normally on a Florida team he wouldn't get.
Yeah, and like when we say sell high, it's not, you're not looking for 3 first-round picks for Marchand, but when you're selling high, it means you're getting something higher than what you would have gotten for him at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but his value is normal.
Yeah, exactly. So 100%, I think it's a sell high.
I would sell high as well. Next up, we're going to go to the Boston Bruins, who came out of the gates flying, then had that week where they just faced ridiculous teams. I think it was Vegas, Tampa, and I think Colorado.
They're not winning the Eastern Conference.
So they ended up winning 3 in a row and then losing 4 in a row. But during that period, Connor Geekie and Pavel Zacha have been lighting it up. Zacha has 9 points in 10 games. Geekie has 8 points in 10 games. 6 of those points are goals. Is now the time to sell high on these players, or do you guys expect them to sustain this a little longer?
It's, Morgan Geekie.
What did I call him?
You said his brother, Connor Geekie.
I said Connor, yeah. Connor's in Tampa. So Morgan Geekie. I'm tending to sell high, especially on Zacha, especially with the rumors linking him to a trade in actual NHL news, especially to Vancouver. So
But you have to be careful with that. You don't know if that trade ends up making him do better.
you're right. You're right. But
You don't know.
it's 50-50.
So there's a risk involved if you sell high on him now. If you wait until the trade and you see it's a good team, there's also a risk that he doesn't perform that well on that team, or maybe he performs better.
Usually it takes
there's
them
a lot
time.
Yeah,
Anyways.
but there's a lot of balls in the air with Zacha. Is my point. The fact of the matter is that his shooting percentage is quite high. It's at 15% right now. He's usually at 11, and he's on a 74-point pace. Where last year he did 47. The year before that he did 62. The year before that 57. Like, this guy's never been on a 74 pace before. So Pavel Zacha sell high in my books, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing second-line centerman on a team that's not very depth-friendly. So, Pavel Zacha, you sell high.
What about Morgan Geekie?
He's on pace for 49 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Morgan Geekie?
Morgan Geekie.
Yeah, but Morgan Geekie, if I don't have him, I go looking for him. But if I have him, he's playing with Pasternak, Lindholm. He's getting PP1. I think him and Pasternak are going to be the future of this team. I mean, if you look at the Boston Bruins,
So you would hold?
I would hold on.
You
Geekie.
wouldn't sell high?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't sell high on Geekie. I think he'll be more useful for you this year on your team than if you sell him.
All right.
That's
fair.
That's very fair.
It's good to have differing opinions. Here, the next one is a guaranteed
Guys,
sell high.
This guy,
Guaranteed. He's number 1 in the NHL in points.
and he got another point tonight, and the game's not
Who are we
over.
talking about, Junior?
Nick Schmaltz of the Utah Mammoth is on an absolute rapid pace. 7 goals, 9 assists
in 10 games.
in 10 freaking games. That's a pace of 131 points for a guy who's never paced for more than 77, and he's only paced for 77 or 75 twice in his career.
What's his shooting percentage, Junior?
His shooting percentage, as we speak, is 19.4, which is not like immensely high, but his average
It's 13.
is 13.8. So there's definitely some red flags here to take into consideration before assessing what you want to do with him. But I think it's clear as day this is a sell high candidate.
This may be a career year for him. It
But
might
what-
be his career year.
But what
which
if you need
is-
him?
Career year for him would be 65 points.
But what if you need him? Do you keep him or do you package him now that he's worth his most to go get someone that you know it's going to be more sustainable?
At 29 years old, you're packaging him to someone who's competing in your league.
If you're looking to sell him, now's the
if you're
time,
some-
maybe.
yeah, exactly. But it's to someone who, at the age he's at, it's someone who's competing,
Yeah.
who's got an injury, so you sell him high. But
If you're you're a rebuilding team,
I'm a rebuilding team. I wouldn't go after someone like Schmaltz just because he's 29. Like you said, he hasn't hit.
no, not to go after. If you're a rebuilding team and you have a Nick Schmaltz on your
Oh, yeah,
lineup,
you sell for sure.
but
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
saying
that's
sell
without a
now.
doubt.
Yeah, you sell now.
Don't
because-
wait
No.
3 months from now where his shooting percentage starts going down.
You sell those players like that. You sell when they're at their highest, right? Right now, he's at his highest. Like Nick said, he's always flirted around the 60 points, 59, 58, 61, 63. This year, it's ballooning to 80.
Guys, he's number 1 in the NHL in points.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me any argument that he is not a sell high right now. Right now.
Okay, so
Maybe even yesterday.
a little negotiation strategy, if you will, something no one really speaks of much. But in this case, where you know it's an obvious sell high candidate, do you put it out there in your group chat with all the GMs and
Yes.
say Nick Schmaltz is available?
100%,
Or do you take the approach and say, okay, let me go see who's missing a center left wing and approach them first before I put it out there? And then, because sometimes what happens is you put a guy out there to everybody gets scared now because you want to sell him.
Yes.
Right? So right away they're alarmed. But if you go approach maybe someone quietly that might need him, maybe it's a different perspective.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like you could go up to a team that's top of the line, but maybe having a couple of injuries, and you look at their prospects, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know what? This is a prospect that I would like to get. I would never be able to sell Nick Schmaltz for this prospect. Let's say a Nabokov or whatever. It doesn't matter what.
A prospect.
A prospect. And now all of a sudden, well, the argument is, well, I'm giving you the top player in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
You don't know if he's going to sustain it or not. Give me that prospect that I never would have been able to afford before for Nick Schmaltz.
And he's a winger.
Yeah, he's a multi-versatility.
There's a lot of
Center
depth.
winger.
Yeah, in center, there's a lot of depth in center. So, but winger, it's very
He has both, though.
scarce. Yeah, exactly.
He's dual eligible in
that's why. So
contracts.
that should play to your advantage that he could play on the wing also, because the wingers are very like. I mean, you'll have the top 10, but after that, it falls very quickly.
All right, last one. A little off the radar, if you will, off the charts, but he's had a good enough start to the season that he deserves to be spoken about and probably deserves to be sold at a high rate. Ryan Shea, defenseman of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You know, not much was known about him. He's 28 years old. It's not like he's a young guy. He's pacing for 46 points. That's top 20 in the league based off last year's stats. He's playing almost 21 minutes a game, and he's on a team that they're just gonna ride. They're gonna ride him because they have nothing to lose. They want these guys to play. What are you doing with Ryan Shea?
Well, honestly, chances are is that nobody owns him.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the waiver wire, and you're probably going and picking him up if you need a defenseman.
That's just as valuable.
Or you're putting him on your watch list. But either way, I think that this is more like I don't. If you do happen to have him, it's like you won the lottery a little bit, in the sense that you didn't know that this guy was going to be offensive. Because if you look at his history down in the AHL, or where? Sorry, was it AHL that he played? I don't have it up.
He played with the Wilkes-Barre
Yes.
Penguins last year and the Texas Stars before that.
So his best career year was 35 points in NCAA, like USHL. he had 35 points.
Yeah.
He's never been a forward, an offensive defenseman. Never been an offensive defenseman in his entire. And he's already 28.
And to be fair, he's only has 5% this year of the power play. It's not like he's playing power play.
So this is a obvious sell high. But if you're desperate for a defenseman and you're in a league that starts 6 defensemen and there's nobody on the waiver wire, maybe this is the kind of guy that you go after and you pick up for now.
Yeah, and then if you see sustaining it, then people will be more intrigued to want to know more about him.
Yeah.
Guys, that does it for a buy low and sell high. That also does it for
the Partial Breakaway Podcast. Where can people
episode
follow us?
117.
Where can they follow us? Where can they subscribe? Please hit the like button.
And the subscribe on YouTube, where we've been pretty active. We've got shorts and clips of each of our episodes every week. If you can't tune in for a full episode, then you follow us on our socials. But like, subscribe, engage.
I hope you guys enjoyed also us being in the wilderness and providing you this wilderness. I know it's a cabin up north.
All for Junior's birthday.
All for Junior's birthday.
Yeah, right.
This is the reason why we did it, ladies and gentlemen. We wanted to surprise him with a podcast in the forest.
We should have done it outside.
Yeah.
In the jacuzzi.
In the hot tub.
Yeah.
Oh my
Three
god,
guys in a hot tub.
Now that would have generated views.
That would
That would generate,
Maybe not by women, but
that would generate electrocution. That would
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
have a good week, everybody. I'm in first in PPL.
Mr. Monopoly here. Monopoly is back at McDonald's. Register in the McDonald's app so you're ready to get your bag. 2 ways to peel for a chance to get your bag. Physical peels with select items and digital peels with others to get your bag. Play Monopoly at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
No purchase necessary. See rules at PlayMCD.com for full details and AMOE.PlayMCD.com to play without purchase. Ends November 23rd, but bonus play ends November 2nd. Monopoly is a registered trademark of Hasbro. Copyright McDonald's.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.